A snarl in the woods. Ancient forest spirits nip at his heels. He can outrun a force of nature on foot. He needs an instant power machine built for the wild. The only escape is in the Toyota BZ Woodland. Off-road handling, all-electric power. Leave evil in the dust. John Cho stars in Camping. Face the wild. Test drive Toyota's new all-electric family at your local dealer. Toyota, let's go places.
Best thing that's ever happened to you financially. Go.
Easy. Sold my car on Carvana. Amazing offer.
Really? I hit 200 on the scratcher.
Did the scratcher come to your house and hand you a check?
No.
How many scratchers did you hit to get that? I hit a button on Carvana.com once.
Okay, that's fair.
It's like the lottery, except you always win.
Not like the lottery at all, actually.
Exactly. Inexplicably good. Offers worth bragging about. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Thanks for joining us, DJ and PK. DJ is off. Mental health performance coach and former quarterback Riley Jensen sitting in right now. We're going to the scene, close to the scene anyway, of the big news. Brian Geltzeiler, Sirius XM NBA radio host and NBA TV contributor. The news broke the other day on LeBron James making his decision, and he's going to Philly, not too far from where my guy Brian is, just about a couple hours away. Brian, what was your first initial reaction when you heard the news?
Hey, it's pretty awesome. I love the choice that he made. I think it's great for the league. I think it's great for LeBron. It's obviously great for the Sixers. I think he just made a super, super decision. It's a team that is got a couple question marks, but by the same token, his presence answers a big chunk of those question marks. And I think he was thoughtful about it. He took his time, which I know a lot of people in the media were unhappy with. I was not one of them. He had earned the right to take as much time as he wanted to. And the fact that 41 years old, that he still has the gravitas to hold up the league's transaction cycle, I don't think that should have factored into his decision. He doesn't have a responsibility to everybody else to make a decision on his future faster than he's ready to. I just think everything about this decision, I think, is good for the league, good for the Sixers, good for LeBron James. This is a really, really cool choice. It's a little bit outside the box, and I think the Sixers are not only going to be a whole lot of fun to watch, but they're going to be a fantastic team this year.
Yeah, for me, I always look who are the two finalists, because if you don't get to the final, there's no point in worrying about if you can win the title, right? You got to get to the final in order to win the title. So I'm focused on the East, and I'm wondering your perspective as far as where they fit in. For me, as long as Embiid, and that's an if, I get it, if he can have any form of health when we get to the postseason, I like their chances to come out of the East, certainly as much as anybody else's.
So I do too. I think the East I had the Knicks on a separate tier than everybody before this, and now I have the Sixers on that same tier with them. Now, here's what I'll say, and this is one of the reasons I do give the Sixers a decent chance to come out of the East. It is really hard in this era of NBA basketball to repeat as champion, let alone repeat as a finals contestant, let alone repeat as champion. We've seen last 8 years, different champions each and every year. Many years, there's just been different teams that go to the finals year in and year out. Like, are we having teams that are repeating in the finals? We really haven't at all. And I think that's even, look at the Celtics, lost in the finals 22, weren't there in 23, won the championship in 24, nowhere to be found in 25 or 26. Like, you look up and down the line with teams going to the finals. Oklahoma City wins it in 25, can't make the finals in 26. So the odds of the Knicks going back are against the Knicks. The Knicks, one thing with the Knicks, they've been blessed for the most part with fantastic health the last 2 years in the playoffs. Now, this year, to be fair, OG Anunoby did strain a hamstring in the first round. They had Mitchell Robinson break a knuckle before the finals. But because they took care of their business and didn't play with their food, they were able to have enormous 1 week rest periods, 2 of them in the NBA playoffs, which is unheard of, which allowed those guys the benefit to get themselves healthy enough to play. With all that said, they've still been blessed with great health. Here's the thing I look at with Philly. Listen, Embiid helps, don't get me wrong. Embiid also hurts in some ways, too. When you look at how Jalen Brunson destroyed Joel Embiid in a 4-game sweep last year in the second round, it was a simple formula for the Knicks. Embiid's on the floor, bring his man to the ball on the screen, get him switched on to Brunson and go. And that was an easy thing to do. Here's what I love about this Philly team. There is a version of them without Embiid that's very, very good and plays an up-tempo game and gets a lot of easy baskets. You're going to see a lot of LeBron at 5 with Dean Wade at the 4. Keep in mind, there's only a certain amount of these dominant centers in the NBA that you need a really big guy like Joel Embiid to match up against. Now, again, to be fair, one of them is Karl Anthony Towns with the Knicks. But if you look up and down the Eastern Conference, there's not many of them in the East, okay? And there's a couple of them in the West, Jokic, Wemby, but you don't have these enormous big centers. Here's my point. Getting away with LeBron at the 5 for some big chunks of time for the Sixers is actually going to be a decent hiding place for him on some of these lesser centers. So I look at Philly and feel like even with the uncertainty of Embiid, they are formidable regardless.
From your national vantage point, how does the league's locker rooms and front offices view Philly's gamble on 40-plus LeBron? Are rival execs and players reading this as a real title threat or like a legacy farewell tour?
Oh, no, real title threat, Riley. And this is, LeBron made this decision, and it's interesting because we were all prognosticating and predicting in the weeks that we were waiting for LeBron to make this choice. And when we, and the big thing is the criteria in each of these finalists was different, right? If he wanted to truly be close to home, the Warriors would have been the right choice. If he was interested in a really significant, top of the roster type of role to try and compete, Miami was the place to go. If there was a sentimentality of trying to bring another title back to his home area of Northeast Ohio and Cleveland, that sentimentality, if he prioritized that, would have brought him there. If he was just prioritizing a basketball fit, okay, regardless of money, which he made clear money had nothing to do with it, Philly was the best choice. And I think the people I've talked to around the league all feel the same way. Oh, my God, is Philly really good now? And the thing about Philly being really good, and I think it's really important to understand this, Embiid can play 40 games and LeBron can play 50, and as long as they're both healthy at the right time, Philly's dangerous. Because Philly is going to be a top 4 team in the conference regardless. Why? Because, first of all, they brought Jaylen Brown in. He is a regular season wins monster. Just look at his career. Okay, the last 10 years, I don't know that you'll find a player in the NBA that's won more regular season games than Jaylen Brown. That's what he does. Then you look at Tyrese Maxey, who was one of the leaders in the league last year in minutes per game. His style of play will win you a lot of regular season games. Here's my point. The Sixers have this luxury right now of not having to run Embiid on back-to-backs, okay? LeBron may have a couple of 3 or 4 game vacations over the course of the season to keep him fresh. They can worry about keeping those guys fresh and still win so many regular season games with this Brown, Maxey, Edgecombe core and the other pieces that they have. So I think Philly here, you look around the league and everybody kind of feels the same way, that the Sixers are have an opportunity to put their stamp on the championship picture in this coming season.
That familiar voice you hear is Brian Geltzeiler. You can hear him on NBA radio and see him on NBA TV. We see a lot of teams have a clear pecking order. Obviously, with the Knicks, it was Brunson, and then they go from there. Towns was involved, but they knew where the ball was going most of the time, and then those types of players decide what they're going to do, whether shoot, pass, whatever. The Sixers, you got the Jaylen Brown thing talking about how this was his most fun year, I guess it was, which leads you to believe, well, he didn't like playing with Tatum, whatever it might be. How do you think all the pieces fit together as far as that pecking order with the Sixers?
So and the first thing you'll hear people say is, well, who's going to sacrifice? That's easy. LeBron's going to sacrifice. LeBron is not a guy that's coming to this game and feels like he needs 20 shots a game. And don't get me wrong, if 20 shots a game is going to be what helps them win games, he'll take them. But that's not a requirement coming in. So we know right there LeBron's going to sacrifice. Here's the other thing that I think gets overlooked from the, only one basketball crowd when they look at what's happening here with the Sixers. Joel Embiid turned this thing over to Tyrese Maxey last year. Embiid walked into that team with the understanding Maxey is our best player. This all runs through him. So the fact that it's Jaylen Brown there now, the fact that they got to work with LeBron, Joel Embiid at this stage of his career, he's won an MVP. He struggles to stay healthy, but what he has to prove is in the postseason. And to prove that in the postseason, it doesn't necessarily mean he's got to go out and get 40 and 20. He's got to win games. So the point being is if being deferential, and Embiid we have seen can be a very unselfish player when he wants to be. If being deferential offensively is going to be what's best for the team, I don't have any doubt in my mind that Joel Embiid's going to do that. I think he's prepared to do that. The thing is this, and this is so important to understand, this took a lot of time. Therese Maxey is a Clutch Sports client that LeBron has a prior relationship with. Right. Therese Maxey was all on board with this, okay? LeBron has a relationship with Joel Embiid. They played together in 2024 in the Olympics in Paris, okay? Those guys, it's been reported in multiple places, were in plenty of touch. Embiid told him he wanted them. And you know what? I know there's talk. Jaylen Brown made a comment about Bronny a couple of years ago. Jaylen Brown and LeBron have had contact. Jaylen Brown wants LeBron James there. Jaylen Brown would like nothing more, okay, to stick it to the Boston Celtics because he doesn't like how they handled things on the way out at all at the end of last season. So the fact that Brown, there was also Brown wants his own team. What Brown wants to do is stick it to the Celtics more than anything else, and now he's got his chance. And again, I also go back to this, guys. So much of this was about the New York Knicks. Because we heard Rich Paul say this a week before LeBron's announcement. We heard Rich Paul on his Game Over podcast on Ringer and Spotify Podcast Network. We heard him say, if the Knicks did not win the title, LeBron was going to New York. Okay, so what happens? What's the next best thing if you can't help the Knicks win their first title in 53 years? Go to Philadelphia and help them knock off the Knicks and let them win their first title in the last 44 years. So that's a lot. So much of this was about what the Knicks accomplished, the Knicks achieved, and what they represent in the Eastern Conference.
Queen Carvania stood haloed by the morning sun. An army hung on her every word.
My champions, I have sold my chariot on Carvana. 'Twas a lovely SUV, an inexplicably queenly offer. They're even coming to the castle to collect it. Tonight, we feast. An offer you can feast on. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
You've been able to observe like relationships and team culture across locker rooms for years. If you were, coaching LeBron through this situation, these first few days in Philly, these first months in Philly, what would be your coaching style or philosophy for him? What would you tell him would be what's really needed for these guys that are on this team right now?
So Riley, am I putting my LeBron advisor hat on or am I putting my Nick Nurse hat on?
LeBron James. Let's go LeBron James.
LeBron James advisor. Let's go.
Yeah.
So, listen, I would. There's not a lot at this stage of LeBron James's career and his life that you have to tell him regarding this. LeBron is walking into this knowing that he is going to be connective tissue. And ultimately what I would say to LeBron is that your best posture in this group is the exact same posture you had for the month of March with Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, where you picked your spots, deferred to those guys, and watched a team that had the best month any team had in an NBA season this year. That's what I would want to bottle for LeBron coming here. And by the way, I don't know that anybody needs to say that to LeBron. I think LeBron picked this team for that exact reason, because that's when LeBron was having his most fun this year. And yes, we heard Rich Paul say this the other day with Max Kellerman on his podcast. He said that LeBron beating the Rockets with a compromised Austin Reeves and no Luka Doncic in the first round was part of what fueled him wanting to come back and do this again, because he saw come postseason, he's got enough left to slay some dragons. And if he has the right people around him, he can absolutely do that. So I think there's if LeBron maintains that posture he had in terms of how he works with teammates, I think that's a no-brainer fit for them. With all of that said, I don't think if he wasn't planning on doing that, this would not have been the place he picked.
Switching gears a little bit, you comfortable with the Jazz not matching Kessler?
Oh, 100%. I mean, listen. You offered this guy 5 years and $140 million. You offered him $28 million a year. Played 5 games last year.
Yeah.
5 games. Okay? So you now turned around and you were able to get, without having to take a salary back, You were able to bring in 2 first-round picks, 2 unprotected first-round picks. This was a no-brainer deal for the Jazz. Listen, I like Walker Kessler. He's got to prove he can stay healthy. And he may be a clunky fit with this group, with having Markkanen and Jaren Jackson. And you know what? They're going to experiment. This is where Danny Ainge and Austin Ainge and Justin Zanuck are so smart. They're going to experiment with the whole Jaren Jackson at 4, Markkanen at 3, with Nurkic at 5. And what's Nurkic on? 2 years, $22 million. Essentially a disposable contract you can get rid of if that experiment doesn't work. You are not going to have that with Walker Kessler. Listen, this 4-year, $130 million deal, okay, this may be, outside of the Gary Trent deal, this may be untradeable by the Lakers early on, really. Like, it's for a guy that has not played all that much in the last 2 years, this is an absurd deal that the Lakers got played on, in my opinion. Because why? Because Luka Doncic wanted Walker Kessler there. And Utah absolutely took advantage of bidding him up, made a very smart decision not to match that deal. Listen, right now, the Jazz are at the point where there's a lot of teams out there, not all the teams, but a lot of teams out there that are playing checkers, okay? The Ainges and Justin Zanuck are playing chess.
How about OKC? Now, they had to get rid of some peripheral guys, but they didn't seem to have to get rid of the absolute core guys. And I realize Dort did start. But the core guys, to me, are still there, and they've got some younger guys that they want to give some time to. So I don't necessarily see them, if they don't have the injury issue, taking a huge step back.
Oh, I think regular season-wise, they're not going to take a huge step back. I think they're going to be an absolute regular season monster with all of that depth. Here's my issue with them, and this is where the loss of Dort hurts them. They have a size problem on the perimeter. They have a size problem on the perimeter in a conference final against San Antonio. And if they would go to an NBA final, and let's assume it's, the Knicks, they'd have a size problem there too. And the thing is, Dort was only about 6'3", 6'4". Dort is a friggin' linebacker, man. Yeah. The dude is as strong as the day is long, and that's a piece that they can't replace. Listen, Alex Caruso is an excellent defensive player. He will do a really nice job. Cason Wallace is an excellent defensive player. Alex Caruso is 6'4", and he's 175 pounds soaking wet. Cason Wallace is an excellent player that's got a lot of upside and a really good defensive player, especially on small guards. But you're going to put Cason Wallace and have him spend a lot of time on Kevin Durant. Yeah, you're going to have him spend, he's going to be your main Dylan Harper defender. You kind of look at where they are size-wise on the perimeter and who they have to match up with, and you don't necessarily love it. With all that said, the bringing back Isaiah Hartenstein, shoring themselves up with bigs in the draft with the kid Mara from Michigan, and they really like this kid from Georgetown last year, Sorber, that didn't play this year. What I do think you are going to see from them to counteract some of this perimeter size issues is they're going to play the majority of their minutes with 2 bigs on the floor. Chet Holmgren's going to be a 4 on this team. He's not going to play a lot of 5. And I think that's something that they're going after here to see if they can match up a little better with San Antonio, because I think one of the reasons they lost that San Antonio series had to do with the fact that they played small too frequently.
Brian Geltzeiler, you hear him on NBA radio. I hear him a lot, and you can see him on NBA TV also, too. When we have you on, we always have the intro music with Springsteen. Do we need to vary it up? Should we go with, Frank, maybe Frankie Valli, Bon Jovi, Queen Latifah? What do you think?
I'm very happy with the Springsteen music. I have no objection to that at all. You can mix up the songs and I'd be happy. That works for me. I have no problem with the Springsteen music. It's interesting. A week ago last night, I did go see John Bon Jovi at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, you did?
And I did. And, listen, I've seen him a lot of times in the past, and he's a fantastic performer. He is struggling physically right now.
That's
and I don't know if you guys saw, but Thursday night,
yeah.
He left the show at the Garden halfway through because he didn't feel well. He didn't have it in him. The night I went, now again, I'm one of these lunatics. Before I go to a restaurant, I'm looking at the menu online to see what I'm eating that night. Before I go to a concert, I'm looking for the set list online to see what he had played the night before.
Yeah.
He played the exact same set list and then bailed out the night I was there 2 songs early. He didn't play Wanted Dead or Alive or Always, which are supposed to be his 2 final songs in the encore. And again, he didn't feel well. So as much as I love him, don't get me wrong, and my heart goes out to him because he gives the audience what he can give the audience. He promised the audience the night he bailed out, keep your ticket stubs, we'll figure something out, and he will figure something out. He loves his audience. But with all that said, listen, Bruce Springsteen is kind of the LeBron of singers at this point. He is 75 years old. He will still go out there and give you 3 hours of the highest energy show you can ever imagine a singer give you. So you know what? I'm going to hang my hat with that dude.
In March, I went down to the Sphere in Vegas to see the Eagles with my wife. And these people sitting in the row in front of us, I kept saying, "Oh, this is going to be their next song." And the guys, he was just amazed. Like, dude, this is 2026. You can look at the set list, and they usually follow it. Maybe they vary it up a little, but most of the time, if not all the time, and the way the Eagles are doing it at the Sphere, they're just playing on Fridays and Saturday nights, and so it's literally the night before. And he asked me, "How'd you know? How'd you know?" And I'm looking at my phone right here. What do you mean? How did I know?
Well, here's what I'll say, PK. All right, it's so funny because a couple years ago, had to be at this point, we're going on 2 years ago, I saw the Eagles at UBS Arena out on Long Island. And it was a blast. I was with my 5 best friends from college, and we had an absolute awesome time. With all that said, we were like the youngest dudes there.
Oh, really?
Like, it was definitely an older crowd on Long Island to see the Eagles, which would kind of match up with your, hey, young fella, how'd you know about the set list?
That's a really good point. PK didn't realize that, he was hanging around with 78-year-olds.
Well, that's
exactly it. Right?
I haven't been called young fella in a long time.
Couple canes, couple walkers, And listen, don't get me wrong, I'm not judging because there's one day that's going to be me, and I will be there with the cane and the walker, okay, and like tequila in hand. I'm not stopping any of that, okay, but that's kind of what you get. With all that said, okay, I would think at that stage of my life I'll remember to check set list.
It's okay. It's okay to judge PK.
I love it.
Well, we're Jersey boys, so we can get away with it.
I know. You East Coast guys.
Each other.
You East Coast guys. You want to condescend onto us West Coast guys. I get it.
Not ever, Riley. Not ever.
I wouldn't say condescend. I'd say it's more about talking down to.
Yeah, same difference.
we talk down to everybody, Riley. That's
I know.
How we were brought
I
up
married a
here.
girl from Strong Island. I know how it goes. All right.
Oh, my God. So us talking down to you is nothing.
Yeah,
right?
no. No, it's like music to my ears. It's like, it's a freaking Tuesday morning in America.
And she, like me, has got
You're
some
living
Italian.
that every day.
Yeah.
Even more, right?
He tells me during the break, she drops F-bombs during the argument. I'm like, yeah, when we have arguments, she drops F. Yeah, so?
Well, here's the thing, Ronnie. At least you're eating well, all right?
Oh, that's true.
There's a lot of guys
true.
out in Utah. There's a lot of guys out in Utah whose wives are making them Italian and making them pasta, and it's egg noodles and ketchup.
I know.
Right? You're getting the good pasta and the good red sauce.
If you saw me, there's a lot of people in Utah saying the same thing. Riley's eating well. Because when you have a Greek and Italian wife, you don't say no to all the pasta.
I love it that way. That's awesome.
Thanks for your time, Brian. We appreciate it.
Always, guys. My pleasure. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
That's Brian Geltzeiler, Sirius XM Radio. He does a show with Sam Mitchell. I listen to it regularly. Sam's really good in the radio.
He's really good.
And Sam, for those of you who don't know, Brian has told us this. Sam has coached, I think it was 3 summer circuits, Darren Peterson. And so he knows the family very, very well and vouches for Peterson and believes those issues at Kansas won't be something that will be an issue or issues with the Jazz. So Sam Mitchell, who played in the NBA, coached in the NBA, now he's commentating on the NBA, signs off on what Darren Peterson is about and what the family is about. And that, to me, that's an excellent recommendation. So we'll see as we head into October with the season and all that stuff, and we'll have an opportunity to see it, and he'll have an opportunity to show us and put all those questions to bed once and for all by how many games he plays and what level of intensity and all that stuff that he does. Looking forward to the season. All right, stay with us. Coming up next, we'll get you caught up on what we've been talking about. And we'll hear some more of Riley's stories that just, I'm not even sure they're true. And
They're
how
all
he
true.
thinks Steve Sarkisian is, well, you got to hear what he thinks of Steve Sarkisian. Stay with us right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Overwhelmed? That was me with diabetes. Hey, I'm Jabron. Between teaching and coaching, managing diabetes felt like an extra job. With the Freestyle Libre 3 CGM, I get real-time glucose readings and have the insights to make informed decisions. My life feels lighter now. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
The views expressed should not be used for medical diagnosis or treatment as a substitute for professional medical advice. Individual circumstances may vary. For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Evening. Buyer's remorse. Buy a new car? I'll be moving in. Let's get started.
Sorry, I think there's been a mistake. I bought it from Carvana.
You what?
Yeah, great price. I even have 7 days to love it or return it.
So there's no...
No buyer's remorse. More like buyer's rejoice.
I guess I'll let myself out. Congratulations. I mean it.
Buyer's rejoice. Buy your car today on Carvana.
Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.